focus, determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Good evening, iRacers. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. We are calling the action today live from the Mid-Ohio circuit. And, well, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a fantastic race every time we come to this circuit. Absolutely epic fun that we have. It's not my usual co-commentator in the commentary booth tonight. Wayhan joins me. Thank you very much, sir, for jumping in. Adam is moving house and has no internet. Woody's PC is still broken. And yeah, Wayhan, you've stepped in and new to the Apex Racing team and first time we've worked together.
Hey Alex, yeah, good evening everyone. Yeah, excited for tonight. We've got 90 minutes of racing ahead of us here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, the 90 minutes, we never really, I should be fully versed as to when the 90-minute races are, but I always seem to miss them and I'm like, oh no, whenever Adam and Woody are not around, I can almost guarantee that's when the 90-minute races are going to be. They seem to be very cunning and be like, arrange their their events on to match that. Qualifying is underway. I'm going to go and throw it straight to the track guide. We'll talk about championship standings once we're back. But yeah, I realized last week there was a couple of little issues with the track guide. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the sound is in sync this time. But yeah, we'll only see once it gets going. So throw it over to Kevin. We'll be back in just a moment. And then it's championship standings time.
Welcome, everyone, to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, located here just outside of Lexington, Ohio. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today in the Ford Mustang around this beautiful 2.4-mile road course. This course was originally constructed in 1962 by Les Griebling and inaugurated its first races in August of 1963. The course has continued to host sports car racing throughout the years, and today Mid-Ohio plays host to events from the SCCA all the way up to the IndyCar Series. Well, let's begin our track guide around this fast and thrilling 2.4-mile road course as we head up the front straightaway and cross the starting line. Heading into turn one here, drivers will be in fourth gear as they approach the corner, about brake marker 150. They'll get down into third, roll that center, and try to get a nice wide track out. Up speed up this short straight into turn two, and then up into turn three, back to throttle, and then a late apex going into turn four here, the famous keyhole as we come down off the hill, the off camber exit, easy on the throttle here, back to throttle and up into gear. Heading down this backstretch here, it's not a real long backstretch, but plenty in length for slipstream and a little bit of drafting. Mustang drivers will be hitting somewhere around 125, 130 miles an hour. As we come down into the famous undulating section of the course, around turn 7 and up into turn 8, drivers will get into second gear over this blind corner called Madness. Down into turn 9, up into third gear, drivers will roll that center and try to get a good launch out of 9, up into 10, and down this off-camber exit into turn 11. This brings us up into what's known as Thunder Valley, the second fastest section on the track. Short shoot straight with a little banked right-hander here. It brings us up into turn 12. Want to get down to the bottom there to get that distance coming off the corner. Up into 13. Roll late apex here into 14. Easy on throttle. Back to the floor. Wide open. Up into third gear, out of turn 15 and across the finish line. Well, there's your track guide around this beautiful Mid-Ohio sports car course. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks very much, Kevin, for that. Really looking forward to seeing how this pans out today. It looks like it's going to be very tight and twisty through that infield section. Going to be difficult for those Mustangs to get by. Talking of the circuit and the car combos, Wayhan, much experience here at Mid-Ohio? What about the experience in, say, like the Mustang or the MX-5? How's it go?
Well, I don't really have much experience here at Mid-Ohio, but by the looks at the way that the track is, of course you've got a couple of long straights through turns 1, 2, and 3 before you enter this series of right, left-hander corners with uphill and downhill. I guess that's the section where cars like the MX, rather the Mustang, where they have a bit of it may get a bit unstable at times when you approach that section, so that's where some drivers will have to be wary of today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, going to be very, very interesting, and those guys have to be very, very patient. I almost think that the MX-5s actually will be a little bit quicker in that infield section to some degree, and the Mustangs have to be patient to the straightaways to get by. So keep an eye on that one. Just to very, very quickly look at championship standings then. Stephen Thomas leads the way in the GS Pro category, 181 points from Kevin Ford, who is in second place on 173. Aero Nom has moved himself up and into third place after another strong performance. And will his win streak stop tonight? Who knows? I think the guys need to. They want to try and hold on to this lead, but he's on 155 points. Jeff Jacobs in fourth place, followed by Brendan Whitworth in fifth. Clint Vigus dropped down to sixth place, and Russ Ruddock is in seventh. Leon Wright just 9 points behind Russ in eighth place. Tyler Shiflett down in ninth. That surprises me. I thought Tyler actually not having a bad season. I expect to see him a little bit higher. Just 1 point behind him is Travis Davis, who we know has missed a couple of rounds. It's Michael Monaghan, followed by Michael Ruddock and Matthew Thieler. In the Open category, GS Open, it is David Warren who leads the way on 99 points. Just 4 points behind him is Andrew Fawcett. Nathan Thomas is in third place, just a further 2 points back. And there's a little bit of a gap to Alex Coffard on 85 points. Jennifer McDonald, Raymond F. Bader Jr. is on 66 points in sixth place. Chad McDonald on seventh. Travis McGill is eighth place. Robert Brist is ninth, and I'm not sure why. I've got a secondary Alex Coffard showing up on the points, but obviously he's up there in fourth place. Over on the MX-5s and the ST class, Robert Hartley still leading the way, 202 points, but that gap has come down quite a bit. The cryptography orange car of Mike Dam closed in on with 185 points. Jim List on 180 gets knocked down to third place. Giuseppe Iannucci is ahead of his brother, Pascal Iannucci, in fourth and fifth, 161 and 156 points. So I think there's going to be a bit of rivalry between the two brothers. Who's going to finish on top in this championship? David Payton in sixth place, followed by Zachary Rubin in seventh, Joe Boyd eighth, Travis Svenke, who's had ups and downs all season long, and then John Allen just he's showing us no points, but I know he certainly has got some, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there as well. Something to we love a little technical glitch here, there, and everywhere. In the open class, it's Chris Thorman leading the way, 100. Well, I say leading the way. He's joint first place with Greg Mack. They're both on 132 points each, so absolutely everything to play for in the open class. Geordie Fike is in third, followed by Mike Taylor, and it's Jordan Walk in fifth. Yes, Jordan, we got it right, finally. Michael Key is in sixth, followed by Bobby Charles in sixth. Jeff Lovell is in eighth, and it's Edgar Sanchinelli, Patrick Prevenance in 10th place. Pretty close in that category, I have to say. And still got a fair few races to go in this season, and lots to race for out there. Wayhan, I don't know if you're too familiar with the series. I know you kind of volunteered very late in the day for yourself, and you've woke up extremely early to do this one. So you got absolutely contrasting people sort of streaming. You've got the one that's just woken up and is blurry-eyed and all sleepy, and then the other is the person who's waiting to go to bed. So with it being 1:30 in the morning here for me, so yeah, that should make for an interesting mix tonight. But of course, so the two cars out there, four categories. The points are scored pretty much for each individual class, and I think it's going to be an interesting race. Just see you've got some technical gremlins going on. Well, while qualifying's still on, just let me know what's going on. We'll see if we can rectify it live on the air. Is it the sim that's froze for you, or what? Good evening to everybody that's on YouTube as well. Stephen, Michael, thank you very much. Nathan, always a pleasure. We might have just lost Wayhan for a moment. His system just froze, so he'll be loading back in a second. But yeah, qualifying coming to an end here then on the MX-5s and the ST class. People just pitting. We'll get you those final classifications when they do show. But so far, it's Giuseppe Iannucci leading the way. Mike Dam. Who else is still out there? David Payton, possibly doing a lap. No, he's closed in. Zachary Rubin right at the end. He stays in 13th with that time. Who else? Not. Right, well, I think that's just about everyone done and dusted for qualifying. We take you through the grid as we get ready for the I say that we've got one car still just sort of out there, which is letting the timer tick down. So we'll just give it a moment. Hopefully, Wei Han can get himself reconnected. Plus, with all the late night Brits still watching the stream. Thank you, Josh, Stephen. You guys need to get some sleep as well, you know. Of course, we are on Facebook Live tonight as well, so do head on over there, give the stream a like, ask any questions. I'm monitoring both chats. So, yeah, ask away, and I will try and help. I don't believe we're on iRacing Live tonight, which is a little bit of a shame. All the broadcasts were sent over to them at the start of the season. And we were on there last week, so just apologise for that. It's just we have no control whether that gets that link gets added to their website or not. Just waiting for the final standings to tick down. Slight change in the rules tonight as well, in the fact that I believe the live admin not going to be able to call the start, so it's really going to be up to the pole sitter, which is Aero Nom, to take control of the field and take us away. I do believe they're actually a slight change of plan as well. Is I think they're going to go on the back straight rather than the main straight, I think. So you guys are wondering what that is all about. Right, I do now have a grid for us as well. Here we go. So Aero Nom takes the pole position with a 1:32.346. Half a second ahead of Stephen Thomas. I mean, Nom really showing what he's made of again in qualifying. Kevin Ford in third place, followed by Russ Ruddock. Then it's Travis Davis, Leon Wright, Jeff Jacobs in seventh place, David Warren in eighth, Michael Ruddock was ninth, and Alexander Coffard in 10th, Andrew Fawcett 11th, and it was Jennifer McDonald in 12th. Up next, we had Raymond Bader Jr., then Matthew Katila. We're pretty close together, actually. Sometimes we see bigger gaps than this, so 1.8 seconds. Nathan Thomas, who we're used to seeing a bit further up, in 15th. Then Travis McGill. Pole position for the ST class went to Giuseppe Iannucci, followed by Mike Dam. Third in class, Travis Svenke. Good to see Travis back on the circuit. Jim List in fourth. Jim still putting in good, strong performance. Good to see him right up there. Following Jim, it was Rob Hartley. It's a little bit further back than we would normally expect. And then it's our pole sitter's brother, Pasquale Iannucci, next. Joe Boyd, David Payton, Geordie Fike, Greg Mack, Jeff Lovell, Bobby Charles. And then we have Zachary Rubin, Chris Thorman, Mike Taylor, Mikey Key, Edgar Santinelli, and Patrick rounding up our grid in 34th. Good turnout tonight, I have to say. 34 cars. That's yeah, that's going to be good. Again, perhaps not what they wanted, with it being such a short circuit. I think we have been joined back by Wei Han. Thank you very much, sir.
Right.
So, will Nom go? No, he is holding them just as we expected. He's going to go on the back stretch. We're waiting for the ST class to come around in the background as well. So, yeah, it just gives them a bit more room. Did you manage to get back into the session? Okay.
Yep. Oh, should be all good now.
Excellent. As always, live timing is available here. I will post the link in the chat for you as well. Worth pointing out, we've got a new feature on the live timing as well this week. We have basically a filter and an event viewer on the right-hand side. So if you want to follow a driver, you want to follow overtakes or something like that, you can put them in the search filter, You can see everything that's gone on throughout the course of the race. Right, we're waiting for Nom to go, and there it is. He's lit it up here at Mid-Ohio. Good clean start from him, no issues whatsoever. Everybody filters through that first corner. It's so unusual seeing them start on the back straight there, and plenty of time. A few people making some moves. Jennifer McDonald dropped down, was just a little bit wide. Then it's Nathan Thomas just getting back past as well. To have a little look at the ST class and the MX5s, and Giuseppe, he lights it up a little bit earlier than Nom. There's 3 wide going in to what it's turn 3 technically, but yeah, good start again from the MX5s. No issues, nice, clean, sensible start. You seen anything out there?
It looks like a great start so far. Of course, some of the guys in the field they're heading side by side, but most of the drivers seem to be heading towards one straight file now as they enter this corner.
Yeah, great job. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Right, Nom, after completing the lap, wouldn't say he's away. This is something that we've seen actually for the last few races, really. Nom very, very quick at qualifying. He does have the overall pace, and the guys are somewhat able to sort of stick with him due to the draft. They can't. It's very difficult to get a run in these Mustangs, but it does really. The draft really does help. You know, it can give the guys up to a half a second a lap. So very tricky for Nom to break away. David Warren, I think we can see a mistake here for Warren. Let's have a little look at that.
An unfortunate incident.
Yeah, just gonna have a quick look at that on replay, see exactly what happened to him. Did he just lose it on his own? I think he has. Yeah, just you don't think of these Mustangs of having that much grunt, but yeah, it just proves right there. You know, if you just you can light those rear wheels up a bit early, and yeah, they will bite you.
Yeah, exactly. With the soft suspensions that they have, it's quite easy to lose the car.
Mike Dam then settled in behind Giuseppe Iannucci. You wouldn't have seen much of this series, but I tell you, this MX5 group, as David Warren has pitted through his damage that was picked up with that crash. Of course, no fast repairs or anything like that in this series. So, depending on how severe that is, that could well be his race done. But yeah, this ST class, they stick to each other like glue. The top 4 or 5, well, you've probably 5 or 6 drivers. It's nothing separate them, and it's like it's a game of you know, cat and mouse throughout the race. Of who's going to do what, who's going to sort of go to the front. It's all about trying to save fuel in the early stint when the pack is all together, so that they can try and get that little break when they have the pit stops. Of course, today we've got 2 pit stops, which can spice it up just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think Mike Dam wants to make a move on Iannucci anytime soon now.
Yeah, gets a good run. Seemed to me like, as he went on board for a second there, seemed to me like he lifted out of that pretty early. So he wasn't close enough to throw it up the inside, I suppose. So just perhaps being impatient. And this is one thing with Mid-Ohio that I have noticed. It is so short, you know, the straights are so short that you can very, very, very easily just sort of sit behind someone for best part of the race and never get that run that gets you firmly alongside. So it can be a bit frustrating in that sense.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that's how these drivers have been able to stick to one another over the race start. And as we have looked down, Mike Dam, I think he's trying to get all the pressure he can down onto Iannucci in front of him. as they return to the main straight now. Let's see where they'll remind them try to make a move inside. Nope, not close enough.
Just missed the apex as well into turn one. You could see just a bit of understeer. Car just pushed wide and lost a tenth of a second through there, and Travis Svenke just closed up a little bit behind. So he's keen to have a good race. Like I say, it's not been his season at all. The races that he has really attended, he's had some shocking results and shocking accidents as well. So it's just got to take the rough with the smooth sometime, and it just seems to be all rough for Travis.
Yeah, Travis coming under a bit of pressure from Jim List running from right behind him as well.
Yeah, Jim's been a bit of a breath of fresh air, I think, this season. Really, he's moved forward so much, and he was kind of always there or thereabouts, but just sort of at the tail end of this pack, just holding on. But this season, all of a sudden, he's found himself right in the middle, being able to move forward, make moves, and looking really strong. And again, he's right there on the back of the top three, and it doesn't look like he's holding on at all. It looks like he's quite comfortable, waiting to see what happens in front.
Yeah, I think he's really keen on trying to make a move on Travis. Because I'm still quite surprised how the cars are actually able to stick to one another even after a couple of laps already into the race.
Switch our focus to the GS class as well. Stephen Thomas, he's 1.3 seconds away from Nom now, and Kevin Ford starting to put the pressure on him. We find ourselves in the very final sector of the course. I think of that, I don't know why, I think that very much like a sort of like a snail shell style corner that just seems to go on forever and tighten up. Oh, wide for Thomas. This may let Ford get a run. I think Kevin, I don't think Stephen will mind me saying this, even though he's beaten him in the championship. Kevin definitely seems the faster of the two drivers here in the last couple of sort of race meetings, but he always seems to find himself behind sort of a few drivers at the start of the race, and not able to stick with Nom this season.
Would appear so.
I think we've got a possible crash, or certainly some sort of incident that I'm being alerted to. Let's have a look, see what this is. Mike Taylor around, yeah, had a little spin. Problem for him, there was a little bit of contact there. Just sort of helped him away. Oh, and he's gone off a second time as well. Don't know if that was a result of the damage that perhaps he picked up. Oh, it must have been. Look at the steering wheel angle on that. So that's probably Mike Taylor's
quite a
race.
Bad damage.
Yeah, race done. Yeah, Taylor into the pits. Non pulls away again. 0.6 of a second that lap. So now that Thomas is far more focused on what's going on behind him, he's not able to keep the Nom in the Bushwink racing car. One thing you'll notice as well, we have in this series, is there's a lot of respect out there for the drivers. There's very, very few incidents. I mean, we follow some leagues that are completely different to this. You know, they're literally rubbing panels all the time. How was race one of the Sim Races Asia series at Kota this weekend?
Well, comparing to this race, I think there's going to be a stark difference. In terms of I think I'm not even gonna say it, but yeah, quite a mess actually. But of course, drivers, you're having a lot of respect for one another.
Yeah, I really don't know what it is. These guys just seem to just give that extra little bit of room as Dam has a look up the inside, down the back straight, and makes his move towards the front finally. And yeah, Iannucci didn't really defend it. Could have defended the inside, but decided not to. Again, I think, like I say, this is a game of chess somewhat out there right now, and I think Giuseppe realizing that he's led from the front, best part of this race so far, and that's he's going to have the worst fuel figure come pit stop time, and we'll need perhaps to pit a lap earlier, maybe a bit more fuel. Decided it was time to perhaps settle in behind. I love the comment as well on the Facebook chat now as well. Respect, what's that? Just goes to show some of the series that Michael might have been in. Although I have to say, on the V8 Supercar series, there was lots of respect given in that series. That, of course, Michael won just the last season.
Yeah, well, respect is it's not something that I find is given in many series, unfortunately.
I have to say the admins in this series do a really, really good job, and they will not hesitate to throw someone out the league if they take the mick. And they pull everyone into the chat. They make sure they have a really good, solid sort of driver's briefing where they talk about all this sort of thing. And yeah, very, very important. And they sort of they drill that into the drivers quite early. Jeff Jacobs into the pits pretty early. After just 15 minutes of this race, so I don't know if there was some sort of accident that we missed, but he's away. Very, very quick stop indeed.
Now he's come back out again.
Leon Wright closing in on the back of Travis Davis here as well. Davis not too far behind Russ Ruddock. But yeah, Davis, of course, TD's tree service, which the league is supported by as well. So big shout out and thanks to Travis, and of course to the Ricmotech crew while we're here as well. Always a pleasure to have them supporting the series.
You know, Alex, I kind of noticed that with these cars, you can actually get very close with other people, but to make a move, it's a bit difficult due to the sort of lack of responsiveness of this Mustang.
Exactly. Yeah, I drove this car for, I think they did like a commentary event, as there is a move going on just there. Like a commentary event where all the commentators got in and had a bit of a blast, and yeah, this was one of the cars that they selected. Now I go on about this a lot, but of course you haven't been here, so it's a new story. So I'll happily say it again. And when of course I was sort of in the draft, things like that. Like I say, it does make a good difference, like a good half a second a lap that you can gain. But actually, on a physical straight, you don't really gain an awful lot. You know, you're talking maybe a tenth, 2/10. And you absolutely have to be right on the bumper of somebody to be able to make a move, especially here at Mid-Ohio, it being very short straight. This is probably the best opportunity. And yeah, you'll see that a lot, where people will be extreme close, but just won't be able to get enough of a run to go for a move. And it really takes some serious commitment on the brakes to do that. And I have to say, the car is not the most stable. I think it has road tires on it as well. I don't even think it has like a racing sort of tire, so it makes it even more trickier. I might be wrong on that. Maybe someone on the chat can confirm, but I'm pretty sure the tire on it is not like a full slick. It might be like a hybrid thing, part racing, part road going. So.
Well, I can't remember too much because the last time I drove this car was, I guess, a couple of years ago. But a bit of mistake there, as you said that by, I guess, Raymond Bader.
Yeah, boom, into the wall hard as well. So that's pretty much gonna. He pulled it back to the pits, towed back to the pits so quickly. He just lost it on the way out. Just couldn't save it. Full opposite lock. Nothing you could do. It's just the way. Well, a couple of retirements. I have to say, I didn't really expect to see those so soon. But yeah, it has happened. As we focus our attention back on the ST class and this battle for the lead. Down still out front. Iannucci behind.
They're still sticking so close to one another.
I'm just having a little look. Rob Hartley, who obviously is so quick in this car. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, Rob Hartley's got 9,527 I rating. And I think Rob would confess it 95%, maybe even a bit more is done from running the MX-5. So, but extremely talented in this car. And he's way down at the moment, just not what I was expecting to see. So he definitely is playing the long game here, but he's not that close behind Pasquale Iannucci. And there's a little bit of a gap starting to form up to Jim List. So I think he's going to have to get a move on if he's going to hold on to this front pack.
Because as these drivers navigate this rather tricky section of the circuit, of course, Alex, I mean, when you're looking at this track from the TV cameras, you don't actually notice how drastic the elevation changes are at the back of the track until you're actually in the car.
Yeah, indeed. Well, shall we take as they're finishing up a lap, let's take a lap on board with Travis Fenke, currently sat third in class, and see what this Mid-Ohio circuit is all about from an MX-5 point of view. We head into turn one. Good line from top three, all picking up the apex nicely. You want to just clip the curb as you saw them do there. And into this hairpin. There's so many lines through this hairpin. Some people just sort of round it off. Some will sort of triangle it off. Others will let the car bleed out in the middle and try and straighten off the exit, while we saw there really the front two just sort of glued to the curb all the way around. This back straight that you wish was just another 600-700 yards longer. You just about start to get the run, and then you have to start to brake as we head into this infield section. You can see quite a climb up here, almost a blind corner as well. You go over the crest, instantly over to the left, switching back to the right. Again, use all the curb on the right hand side. Again, we're going into another blind section, up and then back down. Use the curb on the left, careful not to catch the grass, very tricky. Another elevated section. Car gets very light coming off that hill. Some of the more powerful cars, very, very tricky, loads of wheel spin. Throw it into the left. Again, you can't really see at all the exit curb, but it is there. And then this very tricky final corner. Let the car run out into that new tarmac you've seen, and then accelerate through the left. It's a bit bumpy there again. You have to make sure that you don't lose traction, otherwise you'll end up in the wall like we saw earlier. Good lap from the top three. They've pulled away even more from Jim List. I was singing his praise earlier on, but the top three are really starting to motor now. Hartley
Side by
having a
side
look.
goes Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was Hartley moving up past Pasquale Iannucci. So I think he's realised as well it's definitely go time for him. He needs to get by these guys and not let the front three disappear away too much.
A bit hard on the brakes. They come through this hairpin, and well, I guess Hartley is trying to make a move here as well as yeah, a bit of trying to seek a gap here.
Sat on top of the windscreen. Good view. Oh, much better run for Hartley. Much better run as well. Round the outside. This will turn to the inside. As we go through the sort of like kink left, just about nails the exit there, and all of a sudden Jim Lister under extreme pressure as Pasquale Iannucci tries to have a little look on the inside of the penultimate corner as well. Couldn't quite get the run that he wanted. Hartley, in the sake of 1.5 laps, moves himself up 2 spots to the front of this sort of trailing pack, but he has got 3.2 seconds to close up now on Travis Venke, so he's going to have to go some.
They have a fantastic looking 5-way battle pack over here. Also, they come through this up a bit of the cones there.
Yeah, RIP the cones. The innocent victim. Just need to switch up to because obviously we could watch that battle for ages, but this is also quite interesting in the GS class. This is Russ Ruddock followed by Travis Davis and Leon Wright. So it was just Wright having a little look on Davis earlier on, but they're both, the pair of them have closed in on Russ. Coming under a bit of pressure, slightly different line there, perhaps a bit too much speed. Made the see he's constantly trying to chase the racing line where the others seem to be glued to it, putting him under more and more pressure. Little wiggle for Davis there. Slight difference in line there for Wright as well, just carried a bit more speed, got onto power a bit earlier, made the final corner a bit tighter, lost a little bit of ground.
Nailed the apex right there.
Oh, here we go though, starting to come through a bit of traffic. Let's jump on board with Travis Davies. He's having a look at the inside. Like I say, they're going to have traffic this lap. Good battle up the inside. Nails the apex as well, and he's having to give a bit of room. Need to come back outside the car just to see what is going on.
Yeah, great move there by Travis Davis as they now approach the MX5 lap traffic.
Ross Ruddock got a good run down the straight. He's side by side. Davis having to take a wider line. The inside, he will have that now. It should clear the overlap. Does indeed. Leon Wright wasn't. Oh,
round goes Travis Davis.
He so nearly saved that as well. That was so close. I mean, that was like one massive drift. I want to watch that back from on board because that was pretty epic. He was just offline there, and that pushed him wide. And yeah, he just snagged the grass, got him out of lock, and then all of a sudden the car just bites back. I hate that. That is the one thing I hate about the iRacing tire model, the snapback that you get because you just superheat the rears, and then all of a sudden they've got no grip, and suddenly the front's just like whoop, boom. Just nothing you can do to react to that. Kind of almost have to predict that's what it's going to do, and kind of start your reverse, swapping your lock before you even start to snap back.
Yeah, exactly, and that's unfortunate for Travis as he's lost two positions that he's worked hard to gain.
He's still going, that's the important thing, and we stayed on board for a little while there with that replay. It doesn't look like there was massive amounts of damage. We'll have to keep an eye on it with the lap times, but yeah, a bit unfortunate for him and us as we kind of lose that 3-car battle.
Yeah, the thing with these cars is you do not want to hit the grass too hard either, or they'll throw you off balance.
Yeah, that little blind corner that leads onto that curb, it's so important to get the line right on the early part of that section. Otherwise, you're constantly chasing it, and you go into that sort of final corner in that midsection. Such a severe angle, and yeah, it's so easy to just snag the grass under braking, and that's exactly what Travis did there. Looking at the movers and shakers for the race so far, it looks like Nathan Thomas. I did say I was a little surprised to see him way down in qualifying. Well, he's up 6 places so far in this one. Just ahead of him on track is Andrew Fawcett, who's up with 3, and biggest MX-5 ST class mover is David Payton, who is up 5 spots.
As we have a look now, Russ Rudder coming into a bit of confusion here as he enters lap traffic.
We said at the offset of this race, this is going to be, this was going to be tricky for these guys. There's almost nothing they can do. They've got to be very, very patient through here and almost wait to the straightaway section. And I don't even think this little straight here is long enough to get a run exactly, and it's not at all. So Russ still under pressure from Leon Wright. Leon just biding his time. So you got to try and time it spot on with the traffic to get a run.
We'll have to wait.
Oh, this surely could be it. It's going to get much better exit off. Although the MX-5 on the right there, not ideally placed. It's going to have to go around the outside here as well. Still here, the MX-5 on the inside, and there it is. Pokes itself back in view. Actually, right, had a great opportunity there, but in the end, lost a bit more time.
Yeah, navigating your way within multi-class races, I guess, an art on its own as well as racing. Of course, they're clear of lap traffic now. Leon Wright is trying to make his way to return to the gearbox of Russ Rudder.
Yeah. Technical glitch. The second. Yeah, we lost our mini-map for a moment there. Bring it back, and but yeah, I was just trying to see what they had, but yeah, you can see now on the map actually there's quite a cluster a bit further up the road. That's kind of like the leading group So once they catch up to those, that could be very, very interesting, and definitely where Wright needs to try and time some sort of move. But yeah, it's funny looking at that track map right now, how kind of got like three clusters of cars, and there's a massive section of the circuit that is pretty much empty, apart from Patrick Prevenant, who is in 31st place right now. He's got that whole bit of circuit all to himself. Not another car in sight. You'd never believe that there was 32 other cars racing around this circuit right now.
Yeah, on a short track like that, on quite a hectic track like that, it's always nice to have a bit of space for yourself.
Obviously, as for pit strategy today, we're expecting just the guys just to break it down fairly straightforward into 3 chunks. We'll wait and see. Well, here we go. Just as we start to talk about it, here it happens. Aeronom decides to jump in. Kevin Ford has gone in as well. Driver that stayed out was obviously Stephen Thomas. Is there going to be any jump in the pits? I don't think there will be. Ford away. Norm's still in there. So there is a jump in the pits indeed. So the Team Bushfink driver, Nom, is going to have to absolutely go some, because come out right in the traffic, but more importantly, come out behind Kevin Ford. Great stop from Ford. Of course, could have just taken less fuel, got himself in a position. Maybe he's thinking that just to try and get past Stephen Thomas, and in the end, it's had the effect of getting him what might be the net lead. And all of a sudden, when we look at the mini map as well, everyone on the circuit is just all in a big train, and it's just nowhere to. There's no room anywhere.
Yeah, this track kind of feels like cycling in your living room.
I get what you mean. All that effort and you get nowhere.
Kevin Ford pulling away ahead of Alex Cofford, or rather Aeronom.
Apologies for the sound effects. I'm trying to get onto check some notes that were sent to me as well from Kevin before the start of this one. Yeah, gotta love that 2-factor authentication. Andrew Fawcett into the pits too. Yeah, definitely the window is open for the Mustangs. I'll fully expect to see the MX-5s in once all of the Mustangs have made their pit stops. Yeah, interestingly as well, talking about strategy. So Kevin says to me, he fully expects most people to take 4 tyres at that stop that we've just had, but we may have a few that that might not. And the final stint we could see drivers taking 2 tyres or perhaps no tyres at all. So that'll be something for us to keep an eye on later on. Who's doing what on the tyre strategy situation? Jeff Jacobs obviously pitted extremely early. I don't know whether he had his little splash or something like that earlier on, or whether it was a forced pit stop. But he was only stationary for 11 seconds, so half of what the others have done. Stephen Thomas into the pit lane as well now. Away quite quickly for Thomas. Where does he come out? Well, he comes out behind Nom, a bit closer than perhaps he was. But yeah, he'll be a bit frustrated to see Ford ahead of Nom, I think. But again, maybe he'll just think that he's got something in reserve in that final stop. Just needs to try and get up to these guys, maybe hope they'll battle.
Still a bit more that Aeronom has to make up to close that gap before he gets to make a move.
Good to see these two going at it. Like I say, they've had a few races over the last couple of seasons, been absolutely great. And I don't think, although Nom, I feel, is the quicker of the two, I don't think he'll be able to scamper away from Ford if he gets by quite the same. And Ford on the money usually with his braking points and things like that. So even though there is a half a second difference between them in qualifying, it will be a lot harder for Nom to get by. But of course, could end up eating my words, and you watch him go for a move at the hairpin flap.
Onto the first corner, they come nicely over the apex. They nailed it there.
Travis McGill into the pits. And also, the first of the MX-5s has jumped in as well. Zachary Rubin in. Perhaps a bit early. Of course, Ford is tucked up behind Nathan Thomas in the Driftline racing car. Oh, this is having to get through so much traffic on that back straight. Nom might not get what he wants here. I think Kevin's just going to clear. But still, Nom having to deal with the MX-5 to the left. Like I said, I didn't expect them to go away too much in this infield section. They, by far, the more stable of the two cars through the infield.
Yeah, I believe was fair driving by the MX-5s there. Aeronom clearing it off them.
Massive gaggle of cars into the pits. Russell Ruddock, Travis Davis, Michael Ruddock, all jumping into the box. I think Nathan Thomas has come in as well. Indeed he has, here he comes. So all change back at the front, and as we expected, Kevin Ford takes the net lead, but will he get an official lap counted out of it? Because here comes Aeronom trying to go round the outside of the hairpin, late on the brakes, taking that line. Will of course get a much better run out of the corner, but it's a good line from Ford. Got a good exit, even though he was much tighter. He's still going to have to defend this this right-hander at the end of the straight, though.
Alright, Aeronom trying to make it to the left as he took a slipstream there. Now they head down this stretch here, hard on the brakes. They head to this corner. Right, on the outside, and now onto the inside. Aeronom, yeah. Good move there.
Yeah, fantastic driving. What a great move around the outside there. We're far too casual about that one, I feel. It's not easy to get around the outside there, but he knew if he could just hold it around the outside that he would have the inside line for the uphill left, and yeah, it worked an absolute treat. Now I feel Ford is just going to have to stick with him, save some fuel, try and make up that fuel number that he was a bit shorter with in this first stop. Ah, Mr. Woodhouse joins us in the chat. Good morning, sir. Giuseppe Anucci. Oh, he's absolutely all over the back of Mike Dam now. And I think we're going to... no, we don't. I was going to wonder if we were going to see a carbon copy around the outside with the inside, but Dam actually got out of it and let Iannucci just swing around the outside. Doesn't want any side-by-side action quite at this stage. Long way to go in the race still. I say that. We're getting on to halfway through the race already. So Rob Hartley, we didn't pick up on that as well, but Rob Hartley has closed in quite considerably. Let me just see if I can bring up a bit of an infographic so we can see this this battle, how it's started to form up. Let's see a few more laps than that. So yeah, you can see we when we were talking about Hartley needing to make that move, he was 1.6 seconds back from Travis Fenke, and he's just slowly worked that gap down over. I mean, he's taken out a good half a second as leaders are starting to go through some MX5 traffic as well. He's just right on their tail, and he's just sort of stayed there. But yeah, phenomenal ability to hunt down that pack, Hartley, and to make it a four-way battle for the lead again.
The drivers having a massive amount of respect for one another.
Well, I told you, that's what happens. It's yeah, I think they could go at it like really aggressively, but they realise they're probably not going to finish the race in that sense. So, like I say, until the final pit stops are done, that's kind of a little bit when the gloves come off, and they'll start perhaps working out when they need to be making moves and getting doing practices for overtakes and things like that. So. Peyton, one of the MX5s, into the pits very early. Compared to the rest, I say that the rest probably jump in the pits now anyway. But yeah, also in is Geordie Fike in the Ashbury Motorsport car. Got a couple of the ST class in. Now you can see that with the infographic at the bottom of your screen as well. So you got pit lane time on the left, and then stationary time on the right in the brackets. Give you an idea whether someone was faster in the pit lane, getting in and out, or is it all to do with the pit service time and hitting their marks bang on. Oh, we've got another good little battle going on. That's Travis Davis after his moment earlier on where the car snapped into the wall, survived it, didn't get too much damage, and it's having a good battle with Russ Ruddock right now.
The Russ does get the advantage out of the stretch there as he pulls away. He's already started to pull away from Travis.
Question was asked. We are expecting 2 stops today for everybody. Usually where we are, where we're at with these races, 90 minutes. Well, we have reached the halfway point of this race. So what I am going to do is quickly send it down to our partners over at Ricmotech, of course, support the series, and yeah, we'll just go check out their ad. Support the show. Wouldn't happen without them. So much love and appreciation for those guys. Of course, do go check out their website as well. They shared the video on Facebook as well. So if you're not a friend of them on Facebook, then just follow the share from this video, and yeah, go and tag them, go like them as well. While you're at it, go check out all their products over on the website. But yeah, from myself and we'll be back in just a couple of moments for the final half of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here at Mid Ohio. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. It's season number 11, round number 8 here at Mid Ohio. Race is well underway. While we're away on a break in typical fashion, well, the MX-5s, they decided to have a little pit stop party. Everyone jumped on in, and well, Travis Svenke leads the way now after his pit stop. He was 56.10 seconds in the stop. Rob Hartley actually was the quickest, and he's now in second place with a 55.2 second stop. The slower of the drivers, Mike Dam, with 57 seconds, so perhaps a bit more fuel, but the person who took the most, possibly Giuseppe Iannucci out there with some 58 second stops, so very, very long indeed. I think that will make a bit of a difference come the final stint, of course, when we expect them to come in again. So should have a shorter time there. So right now, he is got a bit of a margin to the top three. That's the only issue that I can see him there. So he needs to try and reel those guys in. There's about 3 seconds gap.
Yes, you were saying that we just saw Robert Hartley making the move for the lead ahead of Travis. Of course, now Travis is looking to return the favor as he heads to this main straight. He takes the left and right along the inside they come through turn one, cleans it off nicely over the apex there, and he retakes the race lead.
Yeah, I expect these two to change position a few times. They've raced each other for, well, I would think there's been years just in this series as well. So fully expect them to hammer this one out. They'll want to try and break away from. Yeah, they'll want to try and break away from Dam if they can as well. But I think while they're fine like this, Michael happily just sit about half a second back from them.
So take two of an overtake attempt as they come back around this section once again, although I think Travis has been able to seal his lead for a bit.
Yeah, Mike's struggling to keep with them all of a sudden. These guys have just stepped it up a little bit and absolutely going for it. Of course, Mid-Ohio, one of the shorter circuits. It's one of those places where actually if you if you are very quick through that infield, you might have an opportunity to drop your rivals. But a good final sort of sector really for Dam gets him back in range. Iannucci has closed in a little bit as well. That gap has come down by almost half. He's on it to try and catch back up too. Just see, is Hartley going to go for something this lap?
I think he should be.
To the
Down
right.
the inside. Yeah, right. To the right he goes.
Swanky doesn't defend at all. You can see him in the rearview mirror. He's gone and he's clear already. No issues there. I think Travis kind of got out of that a little bit. He was like, okay, you go. I'll settle in.
Yeah, and next lap I think Travis is going to return the favor again.
Yeah, fully expected. Oh, there's another battle going on out there right now, which we need to have a quick look at, and that is between Thomas and McDonald. They've got a bit of traffic there as well that they're having to deal with. This is for 10th overall. Thomas now getting held up. Jennifer having a little look. Difficult to know exactly where to go. Of course, just you want to try and put the move in, but you don't want to get held up by the slower class ahead.
Going to the pits goes Jennifer.
Yeah. This is the first
for the position.
Yeah, this is the first stop as well. So no, this is a second stop for McDonald. So I'm not quite sure what that's about. So don't know if there was an early stop that we missed. That's a shame. At the front in this class, though, Nom's still leading the way, but he hasn't managed to break away like he did the last stint. And Ford is right there. Ford needs to play this game really and make sure that he stays close, saves fuel. Needs to try and think of a way to come back. And interestingly, I don't know where that's come from, but I'm seeing a fair bit of damage on the front of Aero's car. Probably affecting his aero.
Yeah, I thought so too. Because Kevin Ford driving the Ford Mustang, trying to put his pressure down on Aero, and I'm probably aware that Aero has a bit of aero damage in front of him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure where he picked that up. He certainly didn't have it when he made the overtake. Car was clean, so unless there's been a little incident with one of the back markers that we might not have seen. Of course, unfortunately, today we don't have the connection with race control. For the drivers that were wondering, we are on our own Discord channel today. Obviously, just getting WeHand set up. We don't want to throw too many new things all in at once.
Yeah, as Aero gets faced with some MX-5 lap traffic in front of him, he's going to come from a bit of pressure by Kevin.
Oh, and whoa! Look at the sudden change of mind as well. Ford's like, no, I'm in as well, matching what Nom does. This is very, very early. Half an hour. I think they can do it. I was looking on the notes. They can make it that half-hour mark. So, but yeah, Ford deciding this is what he wants. Of course, the pit lane is doubled up, which is why he's kind of morphed into the MX-5 right now. Oh, no way. Very, very quick for Nom. We expected him to have a quicker stop this time as well. There's only 0.6 of a second in it, but he is away and he's got just under 1 second. So I think actually Ford, this was well played by Ford to get in that lap, not let Nom potentially break away with that one extra lap that he'd have to do on his own. Sensible driving.
Yeah, though it's great, I think, with both of them pitting in the same time, they do get to carry on the fight all the way throughout the race without having to, like you said, waiting for another lap. You know, Alex, I kind of noticed how small the MX-5 looks in comparison to Mustang. It's a bit frightening.
Oh yeah, that Mustang is a tank. That's hitting them.
Yeah,
They're actually pushing each other down the straight. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just mentioning how David pushed over the cones a bit there, as he comes under a bit of pressure from Joe Boyd behind him. This is the fight for, I guess, P5 in class.
Stephen Thomas has jumped into the pits as well, so he's reacted to what the front two have done. Where has that? I tell you what, this is going to be very, very close. There's Ford coming into view right now. Oh, Thomas not quite able to get him, but that is super close. Importantly, over that lap, Norm has been able to break away. I don't know if he caught a bit of luck with the traffic, but he's able to have pulled out to 2.3 seconds, so super critical for this race. Well, yeah, race on. Stephen Thomas, he'll want to try and get this spot back, that's for sure.
Yeah, Stephen's not going to give up so easily as they head to this infield section.
It's Travis McGill who's ahead of them, the back marker. Oh, and he's struggling big
Slide.
time. Yeah, just gets himself out of the way in the end. I think he needed to. I think that's kind of what cost Kevin, really, just being tucked up behind Travis there. Just he lost 3 seconds, so and I just can't see how that he's going to catch that back up. Talking of Travis Davis comes into the pits as well with Ross Ruddock. So flying Tortoise Motorsport are in, and TD's racing. Let's see what the pit crews can do. Who's going to win this one off of pit lane? And it looks to me as if it's Ross Ruddock by a long shot.
No pit competition over there.
No, not even close.
Not even close.
Well, what is going on at the front of this field in the MX-5s and the ST class? All of a sudden, Rob Hartley has got a little breakaway going on. That is what is happening. 3.15 seconds on the live timing. And Mike Dameron's second. Travis Svenke is all the way down in fourth. I say all the way down, but he's way behind. I need to see if I can find an accident. I think I might have it. Let's see. He's certainly right there in the group. You know, who's the Mustang on the inside? Gonna get into him. Taps him. Oh, nightmare. Don't know who the Mustang was.
Yeah, Mustang almost hits him over the second row.
Well, not what Travis wanted. He was in a really strong position in that one. Oh, as Dam just sort of drifts off of the crest in the sort of penultimate sector there.
Yeah, exactly. A blind corner there. A lot of elevation changes, so it's quite easy for a car to slide off as well.
David Payton, he was one of the first to pit, I believe, in the MX-5s in the last stint, and he once again one of the early ones to pit.
Kevin Ford, Stephen Thomas. Looks like Stephen's not gonna give up again anytime soon. Of course, he's trying to blow all the pressure he can on Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
Bit wide to the cross there.
Yeah, I had to hold on to that, but and actually Thomas kind of got out of it as well.
Yeah, a bit off to the grass goes that MX-5, giving way to Kevin as well as Stephen.
Getting a lot of feedback off of your microphone at the minute, mate. Just to let you know.
Sorry, there's actually a fighter jet that's taking off near my house.
It's not feedback at all. It's a jet plane. What's the jet?
Yeah, problems with the small country is that we have airbase right in the neighborhood.
Yeah, just get out that window and just go, do you mind? Trying to stream over here. Oh, yeah. Just having a look at the pit stop times as well. And that's on screen right now while we're watching this battle. So you can see Nom was very much the longer in the first stint, which is why his second stint's been able to be so short. It's been quite crucial for him to try and break away. But wasn't an awful lot of difference between Thomas and Ford, but that little gap has is what allowed Ford to get by Thomas, but actually he managed to maintain it. So good call on the strategies, and literally up one. It's worth doing. It's about all. It's going to rage, I think, for the rest of the race. 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, I think we should jump on board the car of Stephen Thomas and let's have a ride on him and have a look at how he's chasing down Kevin Ford.
Do you live on the runway or something?
No, I actually live 5 km away from the airbase, so unfortunately this is the time where all the F-15s and F-16s take off.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We are on board then with Stephen Thomas. Can he get this run? Well, we can see, I mean, he is closing, but this is what we talked about earlier on. It's just nowhere near enough, is it, you know? And he was less than 0.4 of a second behind coming off of the hairpin as well, so it's going to be so tough for Thomas to get through.
Yeah, well, for this car, you just don't have that snappiness, that kind of responsiveness for the car to respond when I want to try to make a move.
It's very close. Yeah, 1/4 of a second away. Nothing in it right now. Close is even close. Further to the bumper as well. Slightly different lines. Gives him a better exit coming off of the final corner. He can sometimes make a move into turn one. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, so, yeah, still not close enough for him to make a move into turn one. Although he's got an apex nice. But we've got a bit of a stretch, a bit of leg room for Steven to try to do a bit of catching up. Ah, look at the brakes glowing hot red.
Yeah, I switch away just as just as you mentioned it. Sorry. This was the angle I was after. So.
So the jets have all taken off, cleared from the house.
I was about to say, it seems a lot quieter.
Exactly.
Oh, so close. Yeah, I forgot to mention at the start of the broadcast as well whether or not you had the relevant car camera packs as well. So you might not be looking at the same thing I am now, but we're just on top of the window screen effectively.
Oh yeah. No, because right now it shows left front suspension.
Yeah, we're up top, so that's all right. No worries. It's yeah. So many different camera packs and whatnot that we have to load in. Oh, yeah. I thought for a moment Ford was going to get held up, but actually got a good run off of that corner, and it was more Thomas that got slowed down, and has to hug the inside all the way through, so nothing going there. It's a good battle here, though. That's between List and Guali Iannucci. List holds on for the moment.
Because these MX-5s being a bit... Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Yeah, MX-5s being a bit more responsive, I do find that MX-5s it's going to be a bit easier for them to try to make the move through, especially the infield section.
Yeah, I think you're right, and we've already seen a couple of moves tonight. I think even that back straight is long enough for them to get a run. I fully expect if the guys manage to hunt back down Hartley that we haven't seen the end of it for the race win, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's simply a case of being able to use all your power, only a part of the power from your car at a small track like this. Of course, that's the case for the MX-5, but not exactly for the Ford Mustang.
Thomas definitely was as close as he was ever going to get there, but that one sort of dies away. There's another good battle going on. That's the Leon Wright and Russ Ruddock battle continuing. Even after the pit stops, they sort of separated out to about 2 seconds, but Wright's managed to close back in. Getting word there might have been an issue for Patrick out there. Just a little offline, nothing too drastic. The question is, who's going to be the one to make the move first? Is it going to be Leon Wright on Russ Ruddock, or is Stephen Thomas going to make the move on Kevin Ford? They're both very, very close.
Yeah, I think Leon Wright is trying to do whatever he can to make a move on Russ. Now, of course, again, this infield section not exactly the most yeah, the infield not exactly the most conducive place to make a move. So Russ has that on his side as he takes the inside, and was that a lap traffic?
Yeah, it was just lap traffic there. So that was Travis McGill again.
Just staring out the window, looking at that F15 making the turn over the house.
Wow, I'm
It's almost now a bit more pressure from Russ Ruddock behind him.
Yeah, it's a tough one to know where to look at the moment. So, but I'm sure obviously the series has got a predominant American sign up to it, so they'll obviously have a nice appreciation for an F15 or something like that. So, got to be a favorite of theirs for sure. Been a long time since I've seen an F15 fly, that was for sure. Back in the day, used to do a lot of air shows, and we had a couple that that we saw.
F16s, they fly over my house a couple times every week. I'm sick of them, but yeah, nice.
Well, at least it's not crazy early in the morning for you now. At least it's it's more sensible time at about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. As we look now, Leon Wright. I don't know. He doesn't seem to be able to make a move yet.
Oh, Travis Svenke with a problem out there. See exactly what happened. Race just sort of unfolding. He had that bit of damage. Oh! Just at the top of the hill, he just got himself a little light, didn't he, going over the crest? And yep, well, that's another place lost for Travis. I'm gonna just jump on board actually. I want to see if he's kind of holding his steering wheel. Maybe he got a little bit of suspension damage off of that contact earlier on. It's hard to tell now. Of course, he did make contact with the wall. No, he's holding it straight. I think he's okay.
Yeah, I doubt it's not that bad because it's just some tire barriers, so it should not be too hard on the suspension. Because we've got a viewer rooting for Leon Wright to try to make a move. And I think
Well, now looks like a good opportunity. He's going to get a much better run here. Can't quite pinch him in. No, if you
Yeah,
can
the
kind of,
MX5 there.
yeah, if you could, I think if Wright can sort of block in Russ, could be a way of sort of using the traffic to try and get through. Different lines again through the hairpin, trying to work it so that he just gets that better run. You can see he's less than 0.3 of a second. This is as close as he's going to get, I'm sure. 1.5 tenths. Oh, you're so close. You kind of got to go for a
Right, he
move
takes
one
the
way
outside.
on the brakes. We've seen this work. Oh, good from Russ as well. He took enough speed through. Perhaps not the ideal line, but it's enough to keep that track position, which is so important.
Yeah, exactly. Nearly made it there through the outside, but of course, if you have the inside line, you have more advantage. So Russ still holds on to his P4.
Looks like Travis McGill might have retired from this race. He's into the box one more time, dropping down through the order. Finds himself currently sat 24th place at the moment. While we continue to watch this battle, a few other little individual ones going on out there. Bring those to you in a moment. Right, definitely looks like the one that more likely to make a move. Just a bit further back this time, isn't he? You could just tell. I'm just looking at the battle box. Just over 0.4 of a second, where the last lap it was closing in on less than a tenth. Let's leave that battle for a moment and let's head our way and look at this 3-car battle. This is between Jim List, Travis Svenke, and Pasquale Iannucci. Again, not long to go in this race now, just 12 minutes. We have got a final advert break to go to as well. To see what happens to this little battle, and then we'll fire it over to our series sponsor, Ricmotech. Travis having a little look.
It's going to be a drag race down this back stretch. As Travis Frankel, he makes the gain ahead of Jim List, but yes, let's make the move. Right, defending the inside line, and he probably steals his position ahead, and he takes the position ahead.
One thing we can say, these couple of mistakes that's one mistake and one sort of collision, has spiced it up a little bit for us in this class, because needs to make moves to try and get back to the guys at the front, who I have to say are 17, nearly 18 seconds ahead now, so that's just not going to happen. Just need to try and hold on to this net 4th in class.
Yeah, P123 of ST class seems to be driving on fire, so far ahead of Travis.
A few more battles starting to form up in the GS class. This Andrew Fawcett just ahead of Matthew Katila. There again, 0.4 of a second apart. Katila not able to make the move on his rival, much like everybody else really we've seen today. Really struggle. Travis Davis and Leon Wright, they are still very close together as well. Sorry, it's not Leon Wright, it's Davis and Jacobs. Jacobs losing out with the traffic there, really, through turn 1. To be very patient, and all of a sudden, from a few tenths back to nearly 1 second. Nathan Thomas into the pits, so one of the first to jump. Oh, sorry, he's the final one to pit for his final stint in the GS class. Right,
Goes with
sorry, just to interrupt there, because I just want to get the final ad spot done. So thank you very much, guys, for watching the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Hand it over to our series sponsor just for a short second, and we'll be back for the close of this race here on Apex Racing TV. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and round number 8 of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series at Mid-Ohio. Alex Simpson and Wei-Han Chan for this one. And yeah, it's been a pretty good race so far. We are really closing in on the final stages now. Couple of early dropouts with some mistakes, and the race settled down. Everyone was kind of, lying astern for the best part of it. All of a sudden, though, we've got 3 or 4 key battles going on out there. First up, we really need to talk about, I think, is Kevin Ford and Stephen Thomas. Ford managed to get the jump in the pits the first stop and then held it for the second one, but only just. Stephen Thomas really trying to put the pressure on, make Ford make a mistake. The next up is Russ Ruddock and Leon Wright. Those two have been pretty much inseparable all race long, and still, as you can see on track now, not much difference. Next battle up that we've got still in the GS class is Andrew Fawcett, Matthew Katila, and Nathan Thomas, all in your shot right now as well, separated by just 1 second, all 3 cars. So great battle going off pretty much everywhere you look in GS right now. For the MX-5s, well, Rob Hartley, he qualified, I'll say, way down for his standards in 5th place, and looked like he was going to lose the pack early on. Made a good couple of moves and then hunted the lead trio down by a good half a second. Just going to show why he earned that 9,500 I rating. And to compare against the drivers that he's racing at, well, Mike Dam currently sat in 2nd place, only on 5,100. Giuseppe Iannucci, 6,968. And Travis Fenke, 6,873. So no slouches themselves, but the lead battle really has kind of separated apart. They're all just a few seconds away. The battle that we do have going on right now in ST is between David Payton and Greg Mack. Ryan, thank you again for covering this series. 5 minutes to go. What are you hoping to see now?
I'm hoping for the whole field to shake up a lot more, because it's now the last 5 minutes and it's going to be a fight to the finish after what has been 18 minutes of great racing here tonight.
Yeah, exactly that. We want to see some moves. I want to see some drivers starting to take some risks, show their nose. I think this one that we're looking at right now between Russ Ruddock and Leon Wright kind of just been sort of simmering away, and I think it's going to take Wright to really just crank up the heat a little bit if he's going to make a move. Just start, showing his nose in a couple of these braking zones, just to try and put off Russ somewhat, because right now he's not making too many mistakes out there, and just think he needs to get a bit bigger in the mirrors.
Yeah, of course, Leon Wright trying to get all close up to Russ, but Russ seems to be holding it extremely well through this infield section.
Travis Davis was quite close to catching on to this battle as well just a few corners ago, but he caught the traffic exactly where you don't want to catch that traffic.
As I head back to the main stretch, I hope. Yes, riding on Leon Wright. I think there should be. And they'll be still a bit far away. Because as they make their way through turn 1 nicely over the apex. Yep, nicely over the curbs. And now they have 2 straights ahead of them to try to make a move.
Yeah, late.
Oh, hard on brakes outside.
Yeah, very late on the brakes there. I was just about to say he really needs to just absolutely push like crazy now to try and get this done. He's got a very good run here. Which way is he going to go? I think he's being forced to the outside. Indeed he is. Oh, right. Ruddock covering up the inside. He's not leaving Wright much room at all. We lose Wright from view. He's still there. There he is. Oh, but maybe tiniest overlap. Ah, great racing between the two there. They just left, well, Russ left just enough room. I think Leon probably will disagree with me, say there was not any room there at all. But somehow they avoid collecting each other and handing that place to Travis Davis behind. Great battling.
Man, that was amazing, but Russ still holds on to his P4. No, by the looks of it, Travis is making his way back to Russ and Leon.
Yeah, 0.8 of a second, so he might just get on. Where is our leader right now? Well, he's heading down the back straight. So I feel like we might just sneak one more in after this. It's going to be quite close. Certainly can't slow up and let that timer tick down because Ford is not too far behind at all. Yeah, just the 40 seconds left on the clock. Like I say, I'm pretty sure Nom is going to get through for one more. Wait and see though. Don't want to miss the checkered flag just in case he doesn't make it. It's close, but I think he's going to cross the line, cross the start-finish line with about 10 seconds to go. Well, just over that. So one more lap, final lap of the race then. Leon Wright, all of a sudden, loses the place to Travis Davis. So let's see what happened. Where did Travis get this move done? Is this the... Oh, wow.
Well,
But it just looked like Leon Wright just give up the place. Sure what that was about. Oh well.
I think it might be the wrong disadvantageous line that Leon took over there.
Yeah, quite possible. Right. It's very close once again in the MX-5s. Mike Dam right on the back of Rob Hartley. Where is Nom? Nom is behind them. So these guys have got this lap and one more to duke it out. Very similar to what happened just a week ago or a couple of weeks ago And yeah, damn, I believe if I remember my memory's correct, lost that little battle. Of course, the brain cells are slowly dying at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
That's quite all right. Quite all right. Possibly a slowdown from turn one. We hear in why right lost that place, but here comes Aeronom. He's had a fantastic race tonight. He didn't panic at all when he got overtaken. He's kept his cool, used his strategy to get back to the front. Kevin Ford comes across in second. Stephen Thomas in third. He's not able to get by. Travis Davis, he's not able to get a move on Russ Ruddock, so Russ is going to come across on fourth. Then it's Ruddock. And I think we'll focus all of our attention on the lead in the ST class now, because this is one juicy battle.
It's going to be very close.
Mike's going to have to make a move somewhere, surely. Oh, sideways for Hartley. That's going to really affect his run. Mike surely has got to make a move here. It's not an ideal place to throw it up the inside. And I think that's kind of what saved Hartley just for a second there. Not even a little bump and run on the final corner for Dam. His gentleman racing at his best. He had an opportunity there with Hartley making a mistake, but what a great drive from Hartley. Come back from fifth on the grid, and a good sort of 4 or 5 seconds back at one point. Great battle. I think, yes, indeed, this other battle has finished as well. This was between List and Schwenke. They have all crossed the start-finish line. Wow.
What a race.
What a great race at the end. Like you say, it simmered, didn't it, for a while, and then at the end, it just literally was fantastic.
Exploded.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what we want to see. Right. I am just getting your final standings available. Here we go then to confirm the classifications for round number 8 here at Mid-Ohio. Aeronom does take the win for the Team Bushfink Racing car, and that was by 4.4 seconds in the end, so very close, but just not quite close enough for Kevin Ford. Give it his best to do it. He had his hands full with Stephen Thomas in third, but that's your podium in GS. Russ Ruddock was fourth. He held on, and that was great battling. Travis Davis in the end picked up the final top 5 position. Leon Wright in 6th. Jeff Jacobs was followed by Michael Ruddock in 8th. Alexander Coffard in 9th, and it was Andrew Fawcett, Matthew Katila in 11th, and Nathan Thomas. Jennifer McDonald in 13th. Travis McGill was 4 laps down. David Warren 7 laps down and retired, and then Raymond Bader Jr., who we saw have his issues very, very early on. In the ST class, it was Rob Hartley taking the win by 0.2 of a second from Mike Dam. Great battle between those two again, but Mike can't quite close that gap up in the championship. Desperately needed to do that. Giuseppe Iannucci was just 9 seconds back. And then it says Travis Davis is 1 lap down, but that's just literally because none managed to get past Travis. So there was not this massive void like it looks there. Very, very close. Travis having his issues today with lapping traffic and, of course, one minor incident over the top of the crest. But still a good performance for 4th place. Jim List in 5th. Pasquale Iannucci was 6th, and it was Joe Boyd, David Payton, Craig Mack, and Geordie Fike rounding out your top 10. Yeah, just to let you guys know, sorry, just we are on our Discord server tonight as we had decided to jump in and cover Adam, because he had no internet, and we didn't have quite enough time to get permissions and things like that sorted out on the TeamSpeak server. So if you want to head over to our Discord channel, you're more than welcome to. We will have a very, very quick interview. I will just literally put the Discord invite in the YouTube chat, which you can by all means join us. So, but yeah, apologies for that, but certainly felt better to make sure we got the stream ahead. Well, first race that you've covered in this series, buddy. What do you feel? How do you feel that went out? You know, something a bit different. Racing was great, even though you wouldn't necessarily sort of pitch that sort of a series and say, you know, how good it was going to be.
Right, this is absolutely refreshing in that, you know, I think there's no single race I've covered before that's this respectful or clean. So really huge props to the drivers tonight. They've driven very, very well. They've raced hard but fair, and I think that's what every league should want to head for.
I couldn't agree more. I think absolutely, this is what they should all sort of aspire themselves to. Aaron Nom has jumped into the Discord, so let's just have a quick word with our GS winner. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. We're literally all over the world, I think, today to bring you this stream. So yeah, great race, great race, Aero. It looks like you obviously took a little bit more fuel, I think, in the first stop. That allowed Kevin to get back to you, and you had a little race on your hand then, but great overtake round the outside, and then you were able to obviously just use the pit strategy in the closing stop just to give yourself back that buffer that you had at the start of the race and sort of control it from there.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure, maybe Kevin didn't take 4 tires in the first stop because the fuel needed was less than the 4 tires, but I decided to take 4. I pitted a little early, maybe should have waited 2 laps, but also heavy traffic, and it didn't work because Kevin followed me, so that was the only issue in the first stop. But the second stop, again, Kevin followed me. I took left sides, and I don't know what happened in his outlap. Maybe he didn't take tires at all, but yeah, I had amazing grip and pulled away very easy. Maybe he missed gear, I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't quite catch what happened. We thought maybe he just got caught behind some traffic or something, because all of a sudden he was, sort of 1.9 seconds back, and you again were looking pretty comfortable. And yeah, from there on, he had his hands full with Steve and Thomas, and you were just able to cruise, really.
Yeah, there is no traffic, so I don't know. Maybe Kevin can answer, but after that it was just taking easy, pulling away into the traffic. At the end, 2 laps to go, there was very heavy traffic, but luckily I had a huge lead at that point. Almost came together with Mazda in the main straight. That was so close, but yeah, I took it really easy in the end.
I mean, just sort of describe to us what was the traffic like today. I mean, we were a bit concerned that through the infield it was going to be very tricky to get by, and you're just going to have to literally just sit there and wait until you get to sort of like the main straight.
Yeah, the infield, the Mazda is pretty quick, so you didn't lose much time, so it was just safe to sit behind and wait to the straights, because it's so easy to get by on the straight. So yeah, traffic was no issue.
And next week we are... Is it next week? Or have we got a break? I think we've actually got a little break now, haven't we?
Yeah, I think 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's Phillip Island up next on the 16th. So well, that's a bit of a different circuit. I mean, a lot of areas to slipstream there. That's going to be one that you guys are going to have to work hard to try and break away, as well as the MX-5s, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. There is not many difficult places. So yeah, this slipstream will be heavy again. So, but it's pretty easy to pass again, I think, like this track. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be a good one. Well, thanks very much, Eric, for jumping in. Before we let you go, give us a shout out for who makes it happen for you.
Like always, the league admins and sponsors and you guys. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, mate. See you again in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, see ya.
We are joined now with Mike Dam. Mike, thank you for jumping over to the Discord server tonight. We'll give a shout out to Rob, who had a phenomenal race. But yeah, appreciate you coming in. Just sort of describe to us how your race went. You were pretty much always looking, in the front 2 or 3 all race long. We described this race as a bit of a game of chess. We felt like everyone was just kind of managing it, making sure they were in the right place at the right time to pounce at the end.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for having me. It was definitely a difficult race. I think me and Giuseppe there at the beginning, we kind of had a plan to, kind of keep it cool, because the fuel strategy was really tight in order to make it on one stop. So it worked out for the first half of the race. We kind of stayed near the front there, swapped places a couple times. But then I guess after the pit there, lost a couple places. I guess Travis and Robert passed me. But once that Mustang traffic came through, it was so hard to, stay with the guys ahead of you, because a Mustang would pass you and you'd be faster than it through the whole infield section there, and so you'd get held up the whole lap until that, obviously, those big straightaway sections there. So I found myself at a bit of a disadvantage there with 20 minutes left, but I put my head down, almost made it, but it's so close.
Yeah, it was a fantastic little battle at the end. And overtaking here, it looked like it was actually kind of okay in the MX-5s. One of the, even that back straight, you were able to get enough run if you needed to.
Yeah, even that was hard. It might have looked different, but even on those last 2 laps there, I tried to have a go, but you got to be right on their bumper in order to really get alongside them before that braking zone. So I tried hard. I even tried, all I could do to make a mistake during that infield section there at the end. But Rob kind of stuck there, and that's a long race to stay concentrated on that track.
Yeah, absolutely. Phillip Island is the next circuit we're going to. We spoke to Aeros and mentioned that even probably the GS class are going to struggle to break the draft there as well. It's kind of a simple track with a few key corners, but lots of fast sections, and I think the MX-5s are going to stay stuck together like glue there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be strategy is going to be huge there. It's all going to be about making that gap at the right opportune time, so you can try to make a lead there. But it should be a good race. It'll be a little bit of a break compared to this track where you got to be on your toes the whole time, watching, almost sliding out there. It's really difficult track here, so that'll be a little bit of a better flowing course for sure.
Awesome stuff, and as usual, anyone want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just all the guys who make this series what it is. I'd like to thank the admins, Kevin and Jeff. They put this on every week, and they do a real good job. They put a lot of effort in, so kudos to them. And I'd just like to say thank you to Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment for putting this on, allowing this to be possible. It's a great series, and thank you for it.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, mate. I'll let you go. And we'll wrap up the show.
All right, have a good night.
Mike, I'm there, everyone. Well, thank you very much for jumping in tonight. I really appreciate the cover, and maybe we'll have you back for a few more in the future.
Yeah, Alex, thank you so much for having me tonight. My pleasure. I really enjoyed myself tonight covering this exciting race tonight.
Yeah, certainly something a bit different from from the norm. That's for sure. Like I say, it becomes as a bit of a breath of fresh air when you have such close racing and such respect out there as well.
Absolutely.
Right, well, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to this one. Don't forget to hit the like on the YouTube and on the Facebook page as well. Give it a share on there. Come and like the Apex Racing TV Facebook page as well. Definitely trying to get a little bit more interaction with there. I know I'm working with Kevin, and I think there was some talks of me becoming a page admin or something like that over the Extreme Motorsport, so I can at least post there and that video in advance and get some chat going on there and start tagging new drivers there. So watch this space on that. But yep, for myself, my hand at the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here at Road America, Atlanta. No, what am I thinking? We're at Mid Ohio. Well, there we go. You can tell it's 3:20 in the morning. I will wrap up the show and wish you all a good night. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Tuesday. Or your Wednesday, as it will be for some people, near enough with that far, could be that far ahead. And yeah, we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Focus, determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.